This is the lesson on D major reading, so we're going through scales in D major and chord progressions in D major, followed by Rujero by Sanz, Gaspar Sanz, which is a Baroque composition for guitar. And this is from my second method book, my volume 2 method book, and there's a link in the YouTube info section for that, or you can get it off thisisclassicalguitar.com. So D major, we're going to play D major in second position. You don't have to play it in second position. It's possible to play it in first position with your fourth finger on the fourth fret. But because there's no notes on the first fret, because all the F's are sharped and all the C's are sharped, there's no notes there, so we might as well play the whole thing in second position, meaning that our first finger is at the second fret, second finger is at the third fret, fourth finger is at the fourth fret, and third finger is at the fourth fret, and fourth finger is at the fifth fret. So one finger per fret at the second position. So that means you'll have to kind of use these different fingers for those notes that you've been playing so long. Sometimes beginners, because they've played some of these notes like D so many times over here, when they go to second position, it mixes them up. They don't have the muscle memory to think that's D now with their second finger. But just play it. Position playing is a huge part of guitar, so you're going to have to get used to it at some point, and this is a great opportunity for that. So let's play through the scales and chords and then go through the Sanz piece. So this is the 1 octave D major scale. So you can see you just keep your fingers hovering over the frets like that, and it's in a different position than you're used to, but you'll get used to it after a while. And then the positions scales go to the highest and lowest note in the position of the guitar, which is really essential for reading music because, of course, when we're reading music, we play within a key, not just within an octave scale. Let me do that one more time. So if you're reading music in D major, you might have to play any of those notes if you're playing in second position. Then a 1 octave D major arpeggio, that's just the chord broken up into individual notes. And then a D major triad. This is going to be new and a little tricky for some students, but we're going to play the D on the 5th string at the 5th fret. So this is D, just like the open D, but we're going to play it there. You'll have to know these shapes eventually, so this is a great opportunity to learn it. So here are the notes, D, F sharp, and A, and we're going to play it as a solid form. So this is the root position triad, or D in the bass. And then just this D is going to move up to the second finger, that's first inversion. And then this F sharp is going to go to the first string. And you'll have to bar that. So one more time, the root position is like this. First inversion, or third in the bass, F sharp in the bass. And then for the bar, just make sure your finger is straight and flush with the fret. If you're at an angle like this, you're gonna buzz. You don't want to compensate by grabbing hard. Instead, just swing that finger in close to the fret so all the strings are close to the fret. It's just like normal playing. You have to play right next to that fret. Then the chord progression. D and G, then D, then A7, D. There's a small typo there. It says chord progressions in E minor, but clearly this is a chord progression in D major. And then the 4 voice chords, D, G, D, A7, D. As I was playing that, I was thinking, so this A7 chord, you can see the G is now on the top voice. It's a little different. Chords are just made up of certain notes, so they can be revoiced. Or in other words, the notes can occur in different places, and it's still the same chord. That's why you're going to see lots of different chords for the same name of a chord. So there's lots of ways to play a D major chord. You can play it like this, you can play it like this, you can play it like this, you can play it like this. There's so many different ways because it's just made up of a couple of notes, and then those can be rearranged. So in that case, instead of playing the open G on the third string, it's played on the top string. There's that G, the fourth finger. Okay, on to the Sanz piece. This piece has been edited a little bit for this book. Not much. I've just taken out, like in 1 or 2 bars, I've just taken out a couple of notes just to make it much more appropriate for this level of playing. Those notes will not be missed. I don't think anyone would really notice even, but I did edit it for this book. Couple of things in this piece. Make sure you practice all the slurs. So the second bar, first beat, it's a hammer-on or ascending slur. So you play the first F, and then hammer the second finger in. So I'm not replucking that note. It's just that finger. So make sure you look at that video I did on slurs, Introduction to Slurs. So just practice each of the slurs. The first couple are just like that, but then on the third line, second finger to fourth finger slur. Just practice those until they're very comfortable. The other thing is that it's not always possible to stay exactly in second position in a piece. Sometimes it's just not possible. So in the second line, third bar, because we have to hold on to this F sharp, we have to play the E with our first finger. So whether we're in first position or second position, it's kind of hard to tell now because it gets weird sometimes. But nevertheless, as soon as you play this, you're in first position for sure. And then a firm shift to first position. So this is all first position. A little bit of second position here. Again, whether this is second position or third position, hard to tell, but here we're firmly in second position. So the main thing about position is that when you're firmly in a position, those spots where I said you're definitely in this position, make sure your thumb is behind your second finger. So if you're in first position, if it says first position, then your thumb should be behind the second fret. If it says second position, your thumb should be behind the third fret, behind the second finger. So just keep that very clear. I don't think you're going to find the piece that difficult, and it's a very rewarding piece because this is played by professionals, right? It's like Sanz is played at concerts all the time, so it's one of the great pieces in the guitar repertoire, originally from the Baroque era though. So it's going to be very satisfying, and put the extra work in and make sure that you're just keeping your positions clear, you're doing the slurs, and that you're connecting everything in a nice legato way.